girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done.
And hello everyone and welcome. Crash here. This is RTA Motorsports and today we're going to be jumping back in Assetto Corsa Evo. Discovered some issues we were having yesterday with our vertical stream. So if you're joining in the vertical stream, hopefully it's a lot better today. For whatever reason, we updated OBS and it defaulted to the AMD GPU on the CPU, not my NVIDIA GPU for encoding. So it completely like threw a wrench in the system and nothing was working right. So we should be good to go now. Let's see. Let's make sure chat is working. Put a test in there. Boom. All right. So it's working. Good deal. All right. So let's jump into Assetto Corsa Evo. I already have it loaded up and ready to go. And today we're going to be doing our normal like first person view racing. Because we do have the motion rig going, I feel it would be more appropriate to kind of actually have it where you could all experience the motion with me. There we go. Everything's getting all tied up. All right. There we go. The only thing that I've noticed so far is SimHub and Crew Chief are the main two softwares that still don't have an update. So if you use those softwares, there's still no update to really get it to work on Assetto Corsa Evo yet. I'm sure it's going to be coming. I would only imagine it's going to be coming shortly. All right. Let's go to drive. Try to start towards the back of the pack. And then number of opponents. Let's put this up to like 20 cars. And I want to start like right next to the back of the pack. Opponent skill. Put that up to 95. Let's see what that's like. And we'll put single make on. So yesterday when we were trying this, we actually had an issue where there was BMWs on the track with some Porsches and they were completely holding up traffic. Like they really shouldn't have been in the same race for whatever reason, but they were. We'll do a 20-minute race. And we'll start it at noon. It's interesting. Race time multiplier is actually active. So that will kind of make it like, so you start in the longer races getting transitions in your time. That was something introduced in ACC. That was pretty cool. So if you have like an hour race and you put it like 4 times multiplier, you'd start seeing the sun set and things like that. You have to turn your headlights on and actually adjust your racing line because the track would be cooling. All right, so we got a 20-minute race going for the track. We haven't done Mount Panorama yet, so let's do that. And then for the car, I think I want to go back to the Porsche. Let's see what else we have. I think these are just, yeah, just normal Sportbacks. You know what? Let's try the challenge. Absolutely gorgeous car. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. This is the Trofeo Challenge. All right, cool. Let's jump in. It's kind of weird that you have to choose a car, then back out a few times. There should be a start session button at the bottom of that menu after you choose your car. Just saying. Let's see what we got for weather. Dynamic. I don't know. Let's give it a try. Hopefully everyone's also having a great weekend too. And you can see motion rig is kind of clicking on and off. Let's see. Race Labs actually had an update today. Yeah, this is going to be Evo. Assetto Corsa Evo. Trying to fix this one camera. There we go. I think that would be better. Boom. All right, let's jump back in. For whatever reason too, whenever you're full screen, if you click off of it at all, it minimizes. Now, yesterday, if you haven't joined in at all in Scene, we do have this one bug. So if you're triple screen, right, and you load in and it's all black like this, you can't see the cars. What I want you to do is go to Settings, go to Video, turn off triple screen. You see that option right there in the middle. Turn that off. Okay, so now you can see the cars and you can see pit lane, see all the cars through there. Then you turn it back on. Hit apply. Boom. So now it's working. And I'm going to keep talking about it only because I know someone's going to run into that issue and not know exactly how to fix it. So I'm just trying to help everyone out. Oh, that race position's a little off. It's like tilted down. I feel like I'm looking at the floor. So let's go to, and I've never driven this car before, so that kind of makes sense. Let's go to wheel and dash. We're gonna hide the steering wheel because now that we're doing the first person view, that could be a little annoying. Guess I didn't go to view settings. I did go to view settings, camera. Oh, there we go. One thing I noticed, oh, all right, that's saved. Yesterday, none of my triple screen settings saved. It looks like they are saving now, so that's good. Okay, so it's pitch. Let's adjust this pitch because we are looking at the floor. It's also a very useful thing to adjust in iRacing as well, pitch. Because for some reason, it's kind of like set for you to like go uphill for whatever reason. by default, so that's something you want to adjust. I do like the lines though. When you adjust it in iRacing, you get some lines and you could really fine tune it. There we go. That is looking a lot better. A lot better already. All right. So I do have my GT3 wheel next to me here. I'm kind of tempted to throw it on, but then I would have to go and bind all the buttons right now. And I think we'll leave that alone for now. Just get on track. So AI is rough in ACC or Assetto Corsa Evo right now. It is rough. They like to pit maneuver you. Something to keep in mind. They do have very bad spatial awareness at the moment. This motion feels great. And then creating the profile in Sim Experience, Sim Commander. Wow, that AI is just slamming into the wall. Definitely helped. They are just hitting the wall all over. Oh man, up ahead. So this is a 20-minute race session. Kind of wish that little window up above would minimize about the current race time. Oh, this car feels really good. The steering is a little lighter than the experience in the Porsche. Got some weird pop-ins of the mountains in the background, but that's no big deal. That's the background. I'm getting hit from the AI behind multiple times. We got AI on the inside. Oh man, that was an aggressive pass. So that I'll actually give AI some credit for. That was pretty good. Really good sense of speed here. Oh, I actually just felt that in my stomach a little bit. Really good sense of speed. Ferrari's kind of pulling on us. All right, that's one lap down. We got 17 minutes of this race session left. So some of the cars like the 296, brakes are absolutely unusable. Every car has like a little thing kind of going on with it. I really enjoy the Porsche, but it slides quite a bit. The tires are, I think, needing a little bit of work. This car feels actually really good. Be interesting to see, like, once we get a little bit more wear in the tires, exactly what goes on. I'm not really sure how far they are with their tire modeling. Woo! Oh, this is nice. Hey, Ben, thank you so much. Haven't been in your sim in about 1.5 years. Lost interest from lack of content you find interesting. Hate GT3 cars these days. Was looking forward to the new AC, but looks like ACC. So there is street cars, and eventually by fall, there's going to be open world. I'm kind of hoping there's going to be some drifting elements, some other things involved too, because there are street cars. Like the ZL1's in there, the Ferrari 296, which is a street car, is in there. So it's so far pretty interesting, but right now they only have like 5 tracks. It's early access, so I think this title is going to be a monster when it's ready in the fall, the 1.0 release. But yeah, I've been out of my rig for a while too. A lot of that though is kind of attributing to a shoulder injury that I've been working and rehabbing, and it still hurts, but we're getting there. But you know, with force feedback, it was really painful to kind of deal with, you know, the impacts and the bumps and stuff like that. I would say if you're looking for a good racer right now, AC Evo is not going to be it, because it's early access. You know, there's going to be problems, there's going to be frustrations, but you can feel where they're going with it, and you know, that's a part of buying an early access. You know, it's not their fault, but this is going to be a monster. And right now, this car on this track feels insane. Feels really good. Very impressed. There's going to be graphical anomalies. We went over the triple screen blackout issue earlier. Yeah, no, I completely agree. It would have been nice to see something completely different than ACC. Don't pit maneuver me. The AI likes to spin you out, so. Yeah, and right now, as far as appearances go too, like graphical quality and how they're doing things, it's a little bit different than ACC, but it does have that bloomy sort of like blurring effect that ACC has. Especially in the replays, you notice it more. While racing, everything looks sharper and more detailed. You could adjust all that, but it still has that ACC sort of look to it. ACC has a specific look. This is definitely taking from that engine. Yes, there's VR support. It's in stage 1 right now. It's not perfect, but there is VR support. Oh, that was bad. That was bad. Right now, there's no damage, obviously, or we would have been out of the race. We saw the AI slam it into the wall earlier as well. So right now, with cars on the track, we're hitting, and again, this is running triple 1440p's. We're running almost exactly 60 frames per second. I don't know if it's like a frame limiting bug or something, because it seems like we're always 60 frames per second, no matter what the situation is. Yesterday, we were running with 10 cars on track. That's like the default for the quick race. And again, we were 60 frames per second at the start of the race, same. So I don't know if it's just a frame limit bug I'm experiencing, but it almost feels that way because it's floating right at 60, between 58 and 61, even through here, 60. There should be some, you know, change in frame rate. They locked VSync in or something. Yeah, that's what it seems like. Well, it really feels like As far as the game engine is concerned, it's the same or similar to what they use for ACC, because everything even appears very similar. So I would imagine it's going to run the same, if not better, eventually. That's going to be wild, though, during the, when they actually open the open world and the free roaming. That's going to be cool in VR. I really love the sense of speed I'm getting from this title. And the fact that we already have the triple screen support in an early access is kind of unheard of. Almost every title does not release triple screen support right out of the gate like this one does. I'm getting tossed around a little bit. My foot fell off the heel plate. Yeah. Yeah, ACC was kind of rough to run. You almost had to go like medium or low if you're running a 4090 and a good CPU to get decent frame rate. It'll be interesting to see. Understeering like crazy. Oh no, 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 no. Started to understeer a lot. Went right to the wall. Woo! I didn't feel good on the shoulder, I'll tell you that much. The only thing is, I really hope is, you know, we get the AI sorted, which I know is gonna. Oh, they went into the wall too. Look at that. We got a yellow flag out. 2 cars into the wall. I have not played AMS2 lately. No, I have it installed. It's ready to go. I have not been in it. I never have an issue with the title. It's just I've been, when I do race, I've been like in iRacing trying to get back to an A license. So I've been kind of stuck on that. Every time I do play AMS2, I love it. And that title, I mean, you get a lot of frames out of that title. What I really like about the cars so far, this one and the Porsche, you could really feel how you could steer the car with the pedals, which is really cool. There's good dynamics there. Really? In AMS2? What are you using for your CPU? We got 4 minutes left of this race session. So I heard some people, because I used to have the 5900X as well. I heard some people getting some success out of designating which cores on the same CCX to run titles like AMS2. So you may want to look into that. You may get a little bit more frames and performance out of it. I honestly have never messed with things like that, and nor do I know how to do that. So, but I think you do it within the AMD, like, what is that? The AMD Adrenalin software, not the Adrenalin. That's for their GPUs. It'll come to me. Yeah, but AMD has, I'm sure you have it, their CPU software. You can change like the power mode and all that. But I would definitely look into that and seeing if you could designate a few cores to run it off of on the same CCX, because I know, like they were saying, some titles. Also, what's your power plan on your PC? Because AMD, if I remember correctly, for the 5900X, had specific power plans they wanted you to run off of. So definitely look into that as well. But some games would like run across a CCX, and it would create a little bit of latency, which would cause performance issues. They're really slowing down. Oh, they heard me. They just took off right there. Yeah. No, I completely hear you. You kind of get burnt out. You get burnt out, and then eventually it gets to the point where, and you probably already experienced this, you're spending a half hour, 45 minutes every time you try to turn on your computer, just getting things turned on and working properly before you can even race. Because sometimes you have software comp issues, or you have USB related issues. You know, certain things don't like playing nice with each other plugged into the same hub. Then you're troubleshooting for an hour and a half. Then you run out of time. You can't even race. No, I completely hear you. Yeah. It can get so crazy that it's no longer like turnkey and it just takes the fun out of it. It becomes more of like more work than it's, I won't say than it's worth, but yeah. Come on. There we go. We got one. Can we get the other? Yeah, so you're ready to go. Oh no! Oh no! I'm gonna let him. I'm gonna let him go because I don't like that. I didn't pass him appropriately. This is how I should pass. Oh, it looks like the damage model, for the most part, is like a simple version of it that's on. You can see my car is orange down on the bottom there. There we go. Well, you know what? Let's, I always exit, kind of like iRacing, you know, you go to a safe spot off track and you exit. Let's box. Let's go back to the pits and see what that's like. I got a good amount of sweat kind of going right now. So it gives you 32 minutes to return to your pit box at the end of the race. I wonder if you're several laps down, like if you're doing a longer race session, if it will, you know, kind of time out, especially in multiplayer races, and kind of determine where you are based on your position at that time and give you that place. Sure it will. Oh, big freeze there. Oh, that was strange. Oh, it actually froze my... it froze my, my camera. Wow. That was one heck of a hiccup, huh? Let's see if we could, let's see, cam link. There we go. At least that didn't happen during the race, right? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Now, for some reason, the title is kind of like... I think maybe because cars are going into pits and things are happening, but it could be a little bit of a bug. But the title was starting to kind of jitter a little bit there, which we didn't have during the race at all. It would be kind of nice to set up a race weekend, though. Let's see, I thought I assigned my pit speed limiter. And it doesn't tell you what the pit speed limit is. So we might want to set up a pit speed limiter. All right, so I can see my pit glowing up ahead. Yeah, it's got to be when the cars went in the pit. That's where all that sort of jittery started happening. Because same thing, right when we pulled in, all of a sudden the title started, you know, freezing and stuff like that. So very interesting. Yeah, exactly. The audio is the same. I wonder if they are gonna update certain things. I wouldn't really say that the audio needs to be updated. I enjoy the audio. The only thing I don't particularly enjoy is the sound of the tires. As far as the howling when you're like pushing the car through turns, it has like that same replaying sort of, you know, as you're going through, and I think a little bit more dynamic sounds there would be nice. But I mean, that's a really minor thing. Let me go back to the graphical settings and see what we're looking at here. So the VSync is off. Wow, I can't talk. Gameplay frame rate limit is at 120. I'm gonna max that out to 240, and we'll see. Yeah, let's see. Let's do a non GT3 car, right? What do you think? So we got Fiat, Alfa Romeo, but it's just a small SUV. I think they have the Giulia too. Yeah, they do have the Giulia. That's an interesting sounding car. It's a 5-cylinder. Pretty cool. Audi is just a small SUV. That's what I was thinking of. We got BMW, the M2 CS Racing, and the M4 CSL. Chevy, we got the ZL1, my former car. Hopefully they get a C8 in there. Ferrari, we do have the 296, which we raced with a little bit yesterday. Ford, we got the Escort Cosworth. We may just take that out. That's kind of that's a rando, right? That's a random one. The S2000. S2000 sounds crazy. I think this is the one that, because they did have 2 models as far as like the first one that came out, I think it revved up to 9,000 RPMs. And then the second model that came out, the newer model, was like 8,600 or something like that RPMs, but it had a little bit more power. But they sound absolutely insane as well. Hyundai, we got the i30N, Lotus Emira. Is Lotus still using Toyota engines? Just random question out there. Mazda MX-5, the Cup car. So that's pretty cool. That's kind of a throwback to iRacing, right? The Cup series. Mercedes, we got the AMG GT2. Porsche, we got just the 911 GT3 Cup car. Toyota, we got the GR86. And then Volkswagen, we got the GTI ClubSport. May go Ford for the Cosworth. The model that we have is the Lux. The Lux. Take some of my drink here. Not yet. Not yet. This is about as old as we're getting at the moment. But I think they're planning on bringing some classics. They just, right now, this is all they have in the first iteration of the early access. Let's see. Let's go to... do Brands Hatch. Do some practice first with it. This one should be H pattern. So again, if your screen is black, what do? Go to video, turn off triple screen, give it a second, turn it back on. Okay, that's weird. Kind of makes sense. It says on, but it's showing off. It's definitely on. So right now what I'm noticing is when triple screen was turned back on, our frame rate took a nosedive. So our frame rate is right now 96, 95. And then without triple screen, we're at 124, 125. I know because when it does triple screen, it has multi-view ports. Yeah, 78 right now. We're over 100 a second ago. Something to keep in mind there. Let's go to settings. Upscaling, right now they only are showing the FSR3 on the first day. How can you optimize Evo? As far as graphic settings go, so right now, I'm running a 4090. My CPU is a 7950 X3D, and I'm right now triple 1440p panels. I am streaming obviously at the same time, so you got to consider that too. But right now, we're like around 60, 70 frames per second, right? So there's a few things you could do. One is like lowering your anti-aliasing. I don't know what this filmic anti-aliasing is. Probably turn that off. I wish there was a 4 times. Oh, there is a 4 times. Okay. AA, ultra, texture pool size. I like to leave it of ultra. Turn off anything experimental because it's purely experimental. You don't want to mess with that. And right now, we look like we're stuttering a little bit on our stream. There we go. We're back being smooth. Yeah, so there's presets. So, for instance, you could go like low here, and we'll apply that. And honestly, it doesn't look that bad. I mean, as far as like the pits and seeing the cracks in the road, it's still there. Still looks pretty good. It's just some of your shadows are going to be like greatly impacted, and maybe mirrors greatly impacted. And the mirrors don't look great anyway, even in ultra. So we'll put it back to ultra, and I'm sure with a lot of this stuff, being that this is early access, this is going to be improved over time. There's going to be some, at least I hope so. But when this was first released, the very first day, we did have a DLSS option for upscaling, and that's gone now. So, yeah. So I'm sure that's going to be coming back. I don't know what GPU you have. Yeah. Yeah, that kind of makes it hard. I mean, I understand. I hear you. But there's definitely things you could do in here. I would definitely just, make sure that shadows are low, things like that. Dynamic weather, maybe not run that, so that way the clouds aren't, doing this crazy stuff. That's going to take from your VRAM. You know, make sure you're running static weather. Level of detail, probably bring that down to high or mid. Vehicle level of detail, you're going to want to keep that up though. Global illumination update frequency, probably could bring that down to high. Ambient occlusion, I like ultra. Volumetrics, high. Environment reflections, this is probably going to take a lot of resources, because everything that could possibly, especially if you're running a rain race, yeah, everything's reflecting. You want to bring that down, probably down to low. We'll run that on medium. Shadows, we're gonna keep that on. Let's see, we'll keep that on ultra, and then screen space shadows. Honestly, I'm gonna put that to half resolution. Grass density, that's gonna take a lot of resources there. There's a lot of grass, especially you can see the brush right through there. We'll put that to high. Cloud quality, I mean, you know, in iRacing, the sky, we put that to low resolution only because, like, you're not looking up, you know. But I'll leave it on high just to see what happens. Anything post-processing, be careful. It's going to give you some. It's gonna take some resources, right? Motion blur, take that off. Mirror view distance, we're gonna leave that on high. Mirror resolution, we're gonna leave that on high, even though it doesn't look great, to be honest with you. And then mirror mode multi, optimize rendering. That's probably why the mirrors don't look great. And I think the mirror caption mode has to do with, like, if you're in VR, if you move your head, the mirror will move as well. So fixed or dynamic. So give those a try. I'd probably start. What GPU do you have though? That's. Yeah, look at this. We're looking straight down. We gotta adjust this view setting. Yeah, for instance, here's another weird thing. So mirrors, right? That mirror's on. That mirror's on. That one's black. And that's in every car. I don't know why. That's just the way it is. All right, so I'm assuming. How come it's not defaulting the H pattern shifter? So some cars do, like the Zeal 1, but this one's actually only working with the pedals. Or my sequential. I'll just use my sequential box here. This should be a manual car. You got a 3050 Ti. Okay, that's great CPU. Great GPU. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I haven't used dynamic rain yet. Because I know it's going to be rough. So right now, even with those changes I made, we're hitting 53 frames per second, right? Which is pretty terrible. Oh, you can hear that turbo. Nice sliding there from these old tires. Listen to that turbo spool up. How beautiful is that? Nice little whistle. This kind kind of reminds me of almost like race room type sound in a way. Having that high pitched whistle from the turbo, that intake. Woo! Nice little slide there. Yeah, it can be difficult, you know, and that's something that you kind of buying into when you get early access. You get the lower price, but there's going to be optimization issues. There's going to be texture issues. Just got to kind of fine tune it. I would say put everything to low. Go through post-processing effects, turn them all off, and see how that works for you. Nice little popping from the exhaust. So right now we're at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. I always want to say Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, but you know, WeatherTech now owns it. So that's an American track. We're here in California. They're going to be releasing a lot more tracks. Just right now we only have like Suzuka, Imola, Laguna Seca, Brands Hatch, and the one we just raced. I don't know why my brain's like not wanting to work right now. I'm thinking the name. No, not yet. Not yet. Wonder if handbrake works. Yep. Handbrake works. Let's see. What? Alright, so a little drift action. We actually have water on the windshield. I guess it's raining a little bit right now. So I just said I don't do, or I haven't done the rain races here, and then boom, now it's raining. Because I left dynamic weather on. I was wondering why my frame rate was kind of low. We went off. For my handbrake, we're using our what is this? SimLab handbrake. I don't know if you can see that there. It's right here. Everything's kind of dark in my cockpit, but here, let me actually turn up this light. And we'll get that facing down. There we go. We can see it now. So I do have my SimLab handbrake here. You can see the gold right next to my Hussenfeld sequential shifter. So that's kind of what we're using now. Is modding supported? Official? No. No modding. And don't know if that will actually come, to be honest with you. A lot of people are saying that they looked in the files and it doesn't support, or it doesn't look like it's going to support any sort of modding in the future. So this is promising. I mean, the car feels good whenever I kick it out. I don't have anything bound to the windshield wipers. We may have to go back to the pits and bind the button to the windshield wipers. Oh, this is gonna take up a lot of my time. I don't know why though it didn't default to the H pattern shifter. So the ZL1, Camaro ZL1 does. It's nice that the raindrops take different directions depending on your speed. Now they're falling down the windshield before they were going up the windshield. So that's a nice little dynamic touch there. Let's go to settings, controls, and where is my button box? DSD button box. Wipers. Huh. Doesn't like my button box. Okay, let's try just the steering wheel. Just put a button from the steering wheel on there. Wipers. We'll put this. Kind of wonder how the ZL1 would feel drifting, because I actually did drift my ZL1. I have done that before. There we go. That's all we need. So there's... Okay, there we go. It's intermittent. Yeah, and honestly, the SimLab handbrake is not bad in price. It was very affordable considering it's a load cell handbrake. But I love the feel of it. And they give you a lot of like elastomers to really like get your feel in exactly how you like it. Apparently I'm speeding, but it doesn't tell you what the speed limit is. Pulling the handbrake in this car actually feels pretty good. Probably use that to your advantage during a race, especially if there's any tracks that have tighter turns. Just give it a quick tug and the nose kind of like just pulls right in. Too much, and I knew it was too much when I did it. All right, let's jump out and let's get the Camaro. I'm kind of curious how the Camaro would feel. Yeah. You know, and everyone was hoping for modding, but I just think with the new game engines, they're not going to be able to support it. I don't know. I really don't know. If you focus on the water drops, you will see that they move independently when you turn or whatever. Oh, really? Okay. I mean, you know, and that's going to take a lot of, oh, we didn't even change the car. What am I doing? That's going to take a lot of resources. You know, that's all resources being figured out right there. So I know a lot of you already are aware, but if not, I used to actually own this car. Not the 1LE, but the ZL1. I did have the 1LE tires and wheel sizes on my car, especially when I tracked it. So we're going to definitely take a look at that. I also had some front aerodynamics that were, you know, like not dive planes, but I did have a front spoiler on the car to really get that nose down at higher speeds. But let's see how this feels. Kind of curious because some other titles, you know, like Project Cars that had ZL1s in the past. I think it was Project Cars. Didn't feel like my car. So I'm still using the same wheelbases, the AccuForce. For a while there, we did review and try out the Camus, the C5, the smaller one. Honestly, you know, for the price, I really like that wheelbase. Especially, you know, considering where I came from with the Thrustmaster T1000 and Thrustmaster TX, you know, having a direct drive base, and that one felt the way it did. I was thoroughly impressed, but it was very small. The rim is kind of smaller. But we went back to our AccuForce. I love being able to, you know, pop my wheel off and put whatever on. So yeah, we definitely came back. Setup. Let's see. You could adjust the bump stops, which is interesting. Okay. Okay. Huh. Maybe I just have to like reassign my H pattern shifter. We won't worry about that too much right now, though. But let me turn off the steering wheel. Appearance-wise, it looks exactly like what I experienced in my ZL1. Car looks. They did model it really well. You do have that little stripe down there above the stereo, so. Honestly, don't know. I really don't know when optimizations are going to happen. I could hope that they're going to be optimizing along the way and troubleshooting along the way. It's kind of hard to say. It really is. So funny enough, handbrake works, but this car has an electric handbrake. So there's no actual handbrake. It was an emergency brake. Huh, okay. So really, to drift this car, you just kind of clutch kick it, but front end just kind of pulled back in really hard. Feels like there's like a strong traction control on. It does sound a little weird. If you listen to my older videos, when I was tracking my ZL1, at the top end it sounds a little similar, but it almost sounds like an AMG in a way. Like it grunts kind of like a Mercedes in a way. It'd be nice if we had a little bit more of the whine from the supercharger. Just a little bit. I didn't mean to do that one. Yeah, definitely. It definitely grips a little bit more, but I think a lot of that could be they have some sort of traction control on. I think there's a button you can bind to take it off. Yeah, I don't think the sound is horrible now that I'm hearing it in the upper rev range. The upper rev range is a little reminiscent. And if they want to be really true to the car, I had a stick shift, I had a 6-speed manual, but the car actually, the ZL1 and the 1LE in the later years did come with an automatic option, an 8-speed automatic option. So that should be another version of the car. Maybe a toggle, automatic or manual. Okay, what is happening? Just like completely lost the front end of the car. Oh yeah, okay. I get you, that digital, old school sound that older titles have. Yeah. I definitely catch that. Like, what's that? R Factor? Like the Brazilian sports cars? Kind of sounds almost exactly like those. There's a lot of front end, like, understeering. This car, if I remember correctly, the front tires are 305s, and they are super sticky Goodyear Eagle F1 Supercar 3Rs. The car doesn't understeer quite like this. And it doesn't take much to get them up to temperature, too. My car would be completely covered in rubber when I was coming off track, but yeah, understeering is not really, it's oversteering you really got to worry about. Trying to give it a few laps and see if we end up improving it a little bit. It'd be interesting to kind of go back and forth reflex and you know, maybe I could pull up a video of when my car was on track and we could kind of get a sense for what it sounded like in comparison. I can tell you, like, when the car is idling and you're in the low RPM band, it definitely does sound digital, like you were saying. in the upper RPM band, it does sound similar. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's see. Let's see if we can do them. Yeah. So there's definitely some traction control going on. Yeah, it says ABS on the bottom right, TC1. We could probably turn that off. I definitely, I wanna turn it off or turn it lower, because this car has a ton of settings from factory that you could actually adjust, and you could leave like stability control on, but turn off traction control, things like that. Yaw control is in there. So let's jump over and let's listen to the real car, and let me see if I can pull up that video. I think this would be an interesting side by side. Let's see. Let me go to my videos. Trying to think when I actually did that. It's been a few years. There we go.
Splurged on new devices? Don't skimp on your internet.
All right, so let's. You hear how much you can hear that supercharger whine? I think if they would have just added that little whistle, that would have definitely tied it a little bit more. Let's go to when we actually hit the straight. So this is the front straight. All right, so let's jump back in. And now that you have that, of course, we're stuck in the pits now. Come on, get me out of the pits. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's different. Can't hear the supercharger at all. All right, so we just heard that. Let's go back to that front straight again.
What exciting benefits do you get as a Hertz?
These ads. Tons of ads. Come on. Trying to make this an A to B. My miss shifting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully they update the sound. I think it could get closer. I think if they really add that supercharger whine, I think it would be enough to really bring the experience. One thing I want to try though is let's actually take off traction control, ABS. Let's bind some buttons to it. Let's restart session. Settings, controls, and traction control decrease, and ABS. What's ABS? ABS decrease. All right. Let's turn it all off. So TC 0, ABS 0. We should be... There she is. There she is. Honestly, this car was, with everything off, scary. You just like get on the throttle. I mean, 650 horsepower. Oh yeah. Yep. So TC1 is enough to like really hold this car in. If you turn traction control off, Now I'm trying to drift it, so it feels like a handful. Let's see. Oh. I wasn't even trying to drift it. I was just trying to turn in at that point, but I think maybe because the tires are too cold. Wow. Yeah. This is going to be a beast if you try to drift this car. Let's try on that first turn. Yeah, it just keeps going right around. So it doesn't like it. Doesn't like it. It's not like the Ford Cosworth where it was a little bit more playful. But I do got to say, the Camaro doesn't have an actual handbrake. Clutch kicking is pretty much the way to go. Or if you're going low speed, just really just jumping on the throttle and the tires would just melt behind you. So that's at least the way I used to drift it whenever I was doing so, which is very, very few occasions, not really too often. And let's see if we could actually... let me see if I could find that video. I think it was actually a short. There's probably music to it though. Yeah, there's music. Kind of really hard to hear on these. I probably should post a different video and maybe compare how the ZL1 in the title and in real life sounds. I know some of the other cars sound really good. The Cosworth sounds really good to me. Like you said, Porsche 911 to you sounds really good. I actually enjoyed that car very much. The Ferrari I don't really have experience with, but I mean, nothing was standing out there too. It didn't sound like too digital. But unfortunately, sometimes the Camaro just gets the gets the bad rap there, you know. What plugin did I use? SimTools 2 or 3 or something else? Bob, as far as plugin goes, what are you for what item are you asking as far as plugin? For some reason, your chat didn't come up on my... Oh, there it is. Yeah. So right now for SimTools, we are not using... Oh, okay. I'm actually not using SimTools. You're talking about for motion? For motion, we use, because I have the Prosimu, we're using Sim Racing Studio that you can see right here. Sim Racing Studio came out with an update, I think on day 2 of this title, and it just works. So as soon as I load the title up, it works. I haven't used sim tools in a long time. Yeah. The only thing is with Sim Racing Studio, they're very motion rig specific. So I have the Prosimu motion rig. I think they support a few others. Let's see. DOF Reality, PT Actuator, Thanos, VNM Simulation, and Yaw VR. And that's pretty much it, you know. So I don't have sim tools installed anymore. I do have my keys and everything that I had for it. So I can just reinstall it and try to use it again. Very powerful software, but Sim Racing Studio also works with my tachometer right here. And I mean, I never really use it as far as like actually using it. Just gives me a little ambiance that I like. And I love it. You know, it's falling apart, but I love it. All right, everyone, I'm going to call it here. So far, yeah, you know, the racing was fun, especially at the Ferrari, with the Ferrari at Bathurst, the 488 challenge. AI was kind of crazy. We had AI up to 95% as far as strength goes. Yeah, no problem, Bob. No problem. If you have any other questions, definitely leave them in the comment box below. I'll try to research whatever. But, you know, there's a lot of things. Just keep in mind, there's a lot of things, even though I had a blast. I'm sweating right now. It was a lot of fun. This is still early access. There's a lot that still needs to come out. There's a lot that needs to be done still with this title. And that's kind of, you know, it is what it is with early access. That's kind of what happens. And that's the expectation that you got to like jump in whenever you're jumping into an early access. Things like gallery is not there. You know, driver profile. I've heard a few people kind of set their profile, go back in, and it's gone. They have to reset it every time. You know, maybe you don't need that yet because Academy is not even working. Dealership, customized vehicle, that's not there yet. It's going to be cool when we can customize. Kind of curious how we're going to be able to customize and what that actually entails, whether it's just color or, you know, you can actually physically do things to the vehicle. That'd be kind of cool. Special events, when you click on it, nothing happens. It says we're offline in the corner. But that's all part of early access. You know, there's a lot of things coming. I think this title has a lot of potential. You know, it's kind of cool. Feeling reminiscent of ACC. I actually personally like ACC. But at the same time, you know, then you have cars like this Cosworth here, which is like from left field, drives really well, sounds really good, and kind of gives it a little bit of promise of what's going to happen in the future with this title and what they're planning to do. They did on their roadmap say that there's going to be free roaming open world, but it's not going to come till the fall. So if that's something you're looking for, definitely you may just want to wait before jumping into this title because it's not here yet. But everyone, definitely let me know if you have any questions. Leave them in the comment box below. Send me a direct message on Instagram if you're on there. And I'll definitely try to research what I can. I haven't tried VR yet. I'm a little bit nervous to do so, especially being that, you know, with my 4090 and 7950 X3D, we're only hitting like 60, 70 frames per second in the title with no matter how many cars we put. I don't know if there's some like VSync cap. I know that was suggested on here. That's kind of going on. Maybe. I don't know. Could be a bug. Could be optimizations. So, but eventually I will jump in with VR and we'll check that out and check out some of the settings. Everyone, again, I'm Crash. This is RTA Motorsports. Definitely subscribe, hit that like button, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Catch you all next time.